Okay, welcome back everyone. This was where we stopped in our previous clip, whereby we stopped at the introduction.html, right? And I said this time around we want to create a file. We want to start using our work. Let me restart this project now from the beginning. Let me exit. Let me go back. Then I start the TREBEDIT again. It will load up. Then I have my menu, projects. The batch 100 that I've created is there. I'll click on the batch. Now we have the file. This is the file name, introduction.html. So now we click on the file. Now, first of all, we are going to be dealing with the skeleton of HTML. Now, if you check this corner now, you can see that there is a keyboard here first. This is the compiler and the compiler own keyboard. This is TREBEDIT. This is HTML keyboard. Why this other keyboard? This is my normal phone keyboard, right? Good. So first of all, we need to talk about the skeleton of HTML. We have our less than, then we have HTML, then we have greater than to close it up. If you notice, as soon as I click on this greater than to close it, it auto complete it for me. What do I mean? As soon as I hit greater than to complete it up, to close our first tag, we have the closing of the HTML. Now, this is the opening tag of the HTML, while this is the closing tag of the HTML. Are you getting it? What is the difference between the opening and the closing tag? The difference between this opening tag of the HTML and the closing tag of the HTML and this closing tag of the HTML is just this forward slash that you're seeing here. Can you see this forward slash? Yes. That is just the difference between the opening and the closing tag. Every of our code that we are going to be writing will be written inside of this HTML, inside of the opening and the closing tag of the HTML. Now, if you check your screen, you discover that there is an arrow here, right? There's an arrow here. Once I click on the arrow, you see now we now have a tab. So I am going to be tabbing it to give our work, to make our work more nice. Once I hit tab, the cursor is going to be shifted in, right? After the opening and once we have declared our HTML, the next thing that follows is called the head, right? We have the head, the opening and the closing tag of the head. I will tab again. Inside of the head, what follows is the title, right? The opening and the closing tag of the title. Then I can just say intro. I just say the title as what? Intro, for instance, right? Now, outside of the title, I will come down. The next thing that follows is called the body. The body, right? In between the opening and the closing tag of the body now, this is where this is where all the code that we're going to be writing to be displayed to the DOM. This is where they're going to be written. Now, I know for some of us that are just new here, what I'm currently doing is kind of strange. So we have H1, right? Now, in between the H1, let me just type it, okay? Let me say the prof. Now, in between the body, I declared the header tag, which is H1. You don't need to understand it for now, because I am going to be explaining this subsequently in subsequent videos. Are you getting it? But for now, this is just a quick overview on how to make use of TREBEDIT. Good. Now, let's say we are done with our work. If I want to close this now, I'll click on this arrow again to close it up. Once I hit the arrow again, that is gone. Now, if you check the top of my screen, you discover that there are 3 dots there, here. Once I hit the 3 dots, discover we have save, view in browser, and so on. I will click on save. Now, for us to display our work, you discover that there is a play button here. Once I hit on the play button, to display the work that we have just done, the prof. that I've just written in between the opening and the closing tag of the body. I declared I declared an H1, which is header 1, and I wrote the prof in between it. Was I display it? This is what we have. Alright, you don't need to struggle much for now. For those of us that are new, you are going to understand. This is just a quick overview on how to use TREBEDIT. I'll be sending in videos. You are going to love it. Alright everyone, thank you and see you in just a moment.